This is Keyed In with Max and Brent, unlocking the minds of the industry's top real estate professionals. And now, here are your hosts, Max Rabin and Brent Jackson.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Keyed In Podcast. I'm Max Rabin.
And I'm Brent Jackson.
Brent, today we're talking with Compass's Margaret Babbington with the Molan Babbington Group. We actually had your business partner, Sina Molan, on here last year, I think?
Last year, year before.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years ago, I think it was.
2 years ago.
Yeah,
See, that's what we're just talking about.
It wasn't quite 2 years, but
Time
yeah, Sina
flies.
Milan.
I can't remember because I remember vaguely during that interview, like I don't know if he rolled out that you guys were partnering.
We
or
couldn't announce it yet,
Right.
but I think he found out when you guys were airing it, and he
Right.
did then
Spill the beans.
talk
Right.
about it at the end.
Well, you've been in the business 17 years. You're a native Washingtonian. You went to the former Woodrow Wilson High School, now Jackson Reed High School. I actually went there too for
Did you?
one quarter of 1 year, and like this must have been 1994 or something.
I love it. Go Tigers.
Yes, and I actually graduated from Duke Ellington.
Okay, nice.
But like, I'm from the area. Too. Where? What neighborhood though? Like where?
Mount Pleasant.
Mount
I grew
Pleasant?
up in Mount Pleasant.
Nice.
But I actually moved a lot, so
Sure.
lived in different parts of D.C.,
Yeah,
Maryland, and Virginia.
right
So,
on.
Where do you live now?
On Chevy Chase, D.C.
Chevy Chase, D.C.
Yeah, it's not too far.
Not
Well-
too
Just
far from
right
here.
up
Yeah.
Connecticut.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Why don't we, talk a little bit about set it up. Like, tell us a little about who you are, and like how you got into real estate. That's usually where we start these.
Okay, sounds
And all your
great.
neighborhoods too. Like I'd like to know. Like,
Yeah.
You've lived in a bunch of different neighborhoods growing up. Like,
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
Tell us.
well, just growing up, I grew up in Mount Pleasant
Mm-hmm.
in the 70s and 80s. So basically, my house had a name. It was called Blue Sky. So my parents were very activists, and so they were in Washington. So basically moved around a lot and just, definitely grew up in all parts of the city, which I love.
Yeah.
And very comfortable navigating. How I got into real estate, I was in IT recruiting before, and then I did property management even before that. And I always loved real estate as an investor. So just took the plunge like 17 years ago, in the worst time to start ever.
Where did you go to college at?
Loyola,
Loyola.
Yeah.
So you went to
In
Woodrow
Baltimore.
Wilson in Baltimore.
yeah.
Okay.
So, you said real estate investing. Were you investing in real estate before you got into real estate sales?
Yes, I had a property and I had 2 properties, so yes.
Right.
But yeah, I love real estate. This is back in the, look back in the day, pull out the paper
Yeah.
and look at the Sundays, open houses and go to them. So yeah, took
What was
the
your
plunge.
first investment?
It's in Georgetown. I mean, I still have it.
You still have
Still
it.
have it?
Yeah,
Great.
in Burleith, technically, Burleith. And actually, our longtime tenants just moved out. So we've had it for a long time, and they just moved out. So we're actually contemplating moving back in.
Okay.
Exciting.
So you bought it. When did you buy it?
26 years ago, maybe?
26.
Yeah.
And just to put price perspective.
Yeah, right. We
what
love
was your-
that.
What was your price?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
350,000?
Like, no, way low.
Way lower.
And 200,000
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And I just remember my chin, like literally being so nervous, and my chin was shaking, which is not a normal thing for me. So
When you were making that, when you were doing that deal, you mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
no. And my agent at the time was a great, awesome lady, and she was like, "Yeah, can you?" I mean, we had no money, so I
Right.
just liquidated an IRA that I had, and we just did it, and now it's rents very quickly, and
And you could always just tear it down and build a $3.5 million house
well,
on
that's
the
what
lot.
they're doing over there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's interesting that at any point in our life that it just wasn't more because you're in the staple of the nation's capital. You've got Georgetown in your backyard. It's just unfathomable to me that I understand appreciation, but like it wasn't more than 260 even 26 years ago.
yeah, it was probably
But all, I mean,
200.
but all cities went through this
Revolution.
weird flow. Yeah, from like the late 1960s and 70s, and it's just the economics of how places evolved, and now yeah, people want the convenience of being in the city. That's really like the last 25 years or so that it's ramped back up in downtown areas, and
That's
the
right.
money's coming in, and investment, the ease of lifestyle. I mean, that's the change. You know?
Yeah. And, there are parts of the city that, like, I wasn't really going to or allowed to go to. And,
Yeah.
now I'm there every day.
Totally.
So,
Same. Yeah. Growing up here, like, we've had lots of guests who grew up in D.C. and are a little more old school like we are.
yeah.
And I mean, my parents are pretty liberal about where we could go. Like, you
Yeah.
could jump on the metro and go to
Mine
like
too.
Gallery Place or whatever, and it was just a totally different planet.
Yeah.
Even like 20 years ago, it was different.
Very different.
You know?
Yeah, very different. I would, take the bus everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
We're city kids.
yeah, exactly.
Do you
Totally.
still take the bus? I'm curious. Yeah, either one of you do. Either one of you take the bus?
I don't take the bus.
My
No.
stepdaughter does,
I
all
Uber.
over the
I
place.
Ubered here.
Uber?
Yeah,
I do the metro, but any city, I'll take the metro, subway, train, whatever.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I'm not getting on a bus.
Yeah, my daughter takes the metro every day. So,
Yeah.
All right. So tell us about. So you started your career in real estate. What was the first brokerage you were at?
Long and Foster,
You were at
right
Long and
on
Foster.
Chevy Chase Circle.
Mm-hmm.
There, it's awesome. It was an awesome experience. And then, when they opened Compass, or Compass was coming, just in the infancy, I was day one.
Okay.
With Mandy and David and others. So,
Right.
Lindsay Reichman. So, it's been a great. I love it there.
Yeah. So you've been with Compass then as soon as they arrived here in
As
DC.
soon as they arrived.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So tell us, okay, so I just came back from the Sotheby's International Realty Global Networking event.
Love it.
Okay, so there were 3,000 agents there from like 50 different countries, every state,
Mm-hmm.
big event. And the big thing with these events is always about like the power of our brand, right?
Sure.
Obviously, we think of Sotheby's as being extremely powerful brand. It's known worldwide. You can go to other countries and see our signs all over the place too.
yeah.
We're always talking with like top agents in, we have top agents in places like France, England, Italy,
Love it.
all of these things, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's obviously some corporate rah too going
Yeah,
on, right?
yeah.
So tell us about like working with the Compass brand. So if you've been with Compass from day one, we've seen agents who have, like you, maybe were at Long and Foster, or with our company, or with our other competitor, Washington Pine Properties, go to Compass, come back, shifting around. You're a longtime Compass person. Tell us about why Compass like resonates with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a culture of sharing and collaboration. We do. I love traveling, so we go to all the events. When they launch a different city, there's definitely a family and down to earthness about the Compass, kind of who you're, oaring with,
Sure.
and a spirit of entrepreneurship. It's all about the agent, and I can't imagine being any place else. I really love it. Love Robert. Love the local leadership. Holly is, our broker here, and she was actually with Long and Foster, so I came before her, and then she came. So it's something special.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, like falling in love. It's like
Right.
when you know.
Right.
And it's great. I wouldn't be any other place right now.
Yeah.
I think I saw on somebody's news feed, might have been Robert Refkin's, but you guys just had your meeting or a small meeting up in New York, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, they're different meetings. Robert's here quite a bit. Like I just saw him 2 weeks ago in Arlington, and, saw him in Miami, saw him in San Francisco. So we're constantly sort of seeing him. He's
Right.
great at coming into town. And if we have launch a city or do an event, he'll be there too.
Right.
So he's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he comes to Arlington, like, what's he coming to Arlington for? Just to visit the agents and the offices?
Yeah, I mean, there's
get
a
him
lot of
hyped up,
changes
man.
in our industry.
Yeah,
and-
that's true. There's
and,
some changes lately. We're going to get to that. Yeah.
So just kind of really keeping a pulse
Right.
on that with the agents and what we're experiencing and how he can really help from a leadership perspective.
So, okay, well, I want to talk about your team and everything, but,
Yeah.
people are listening to the podcast. Let's get to some
Sure.
of the meat of what we're dealing with right now. Our
Yeah.
last episode, we interviewed Mark Loam, the CEO of our company, TTR Sotheby's.
Okay.
And we talked all about the NAR settlement and the changes. And you're saying like you've got Robert Repkin coming down from, I'm assuming he's situated out of New York, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's coming down from New York to hype you guys up and say like, hey, we're good. You know, like we've got ways to deal with things. We're learning all these new things. These are the challenges. What are you seeing so far in the market? And has anything changed for you guys at all? I mean, obviously we have some new paperwork we're dealing with since the NAR settlement since August 17th. What are you guys doing that might have changed in your practice?
So we love it.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess just our team is gotten used to it already. And I think we love it because we're not wasting our time with people who are just calling us to see a house.
Right.
To just get in and see that house. We are meeting people and people who are very interested in working with us. We're a leader in the market. We have a great team. We speak 11 languages on our team. It's incredible. So far I love it. I can't.
You feel
We've
like
got the IT really cinched up, and that's really Sina's department, not mine, but getting agreements out, meeting people.
So I know Sina, we've done quite a few deals with him. Like he dives deep into the Zillow. Are you into the Zillow world as well? Because those are like cold leads coming in off online.
Do you guys have paid
does that
Zillow
kind of
leads on
process?
for you too?
So me personally, what Sina and I have done, because basically as a leader, you know, you can't really lead unless you've really been in the trenches.
Right.
And we are very hands-on. And so we actually did the leads together like these past couple weekends, because we've only had a couple weekends. And it's great because we've tag team it. As you know, when you're meeting people to show, there's a lot going on.
Right.
Yeah.
There's might be two couples, might be a parent in the room. So it really is nice to have two seasoned agents showing up. And
This is the first meeting, cold lead.
cold lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys? Because I think from my recollection, Zillow has a one-pager that they're filling out.
Yeah, it's a touring agreement.
Right.
And right after that, we talk about the agency rules and
Right.
and you know who we are. We spent a long time in that house. The first showing, it's a 45-minute
Oh wow. Okay.
to an hour process.
So let me ask you. So when you're on that first appointment from
Yeah.
that lead, you set that meeting up so to make sure that they know that you're going to have this showing agreement for this showing.
Yes.
And then we'd like to discuss with you XYZ.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll just, you need a touring agreement. But would you sign an agreement without meeting anybody?
No, absolutely
engage?
not. Yeah.
No. So it's
I mean,
ridiculous.
Well, it depends. Look, it depends on the length of time this has been in practice. I mean, what buyers may or may not have been used to, just who knows what buyers were thinking before. They were just out there doing their thing and like clicking on things and showing up, right?
Yeah.
But if this is the practice, this is the practice. And the more that they know about that through talking with friends or their own
Yeah.
personal experience,
And
that will be
people
the
know.
practice.
People know. And have you heard about this? And they really have.
Yeah.
They don't understand it or, want to talk about it. And we talk about it very comfortably and show our value, which we're all doing now.
Well, just knowing what's going on at all shows a lot of value, as I've found out. So, I have a new listing coming up.
Yay.
And we were getting the listing agreement signed and discussed. And the owner's a real estate guy himself. He's worked in development. He's an architect. He hasn't sold anything personally in many years. And this was a house he lived in for a long time. And he's like, all right, can you please explain to me the new commission? Like, what is this and how does this work? He's like, and he said, like, from reading articles and from people telling him, like, you don't have to pay a buyer agent and all this stuff. He's like, and so I explained it to him the way that I explained it, how the two commissions are separated in DC at least. And it's like, it's negotiable. It's not written into the deal until it's written into the contract. You can agree to offer such commission, but we're not paying anything until it's asked to be paid for necessarily, except for my listing fee.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, that was the easiest way anyone could ever explain it. It makes total sense that way.
Total sense.
You know?
And what we did, these last few months, we've gone to Inman, New York, Inman, Miami. We've been to Vegas. I mean, we are hearing, Sina and I, my business partner and I, we're hearing from the thought leaders and the, CEOs of all the different companies. And so it really helps because sometimes locally you have a perspective and a view or a lens, if you will, of what happens in Washington is this way. But getting the whole country's take on it, in different markets, and different shares and leaders, and how they're looking at this. So we'll see. It's always evolving, right?
Totally.
I mean, I think it's interesting. Like our marketplace has always been one of 17 jurisdictions, Maryland, D.C., Virginia, that has had buyer agency agreements. So for me, it's been easier to explain. I actually like it better. I was telling our group earlier this week. Now it's very easy. My fee is this. You need to offer X, Y, or Z to the buyer agent. To Max's point, it's negotiable up until it comes into the contract. You can offer this and take it back, whatever. But it's easier because my fee is X. We're not negotiating off of that. So it's actually allowed us to bump up our commission.
Yeah.
And on the buy side, to your point, it's like you can get through a lot of the BS. Buyers just want to use you to go out for this one property. Case in point, we had a buyer that was looking up to $2.5 million, Virginia or DC. He called and said he wanted to use his Virginia agent for Virginia and us on DC. And I'm like, we're not going to do that. You can use your Virginia agent for DC, Maryland, and Virginia, or you can use us. And then he thought about it for 24 hours and said, I want to use you guys for all three.
Yeah.
So I mean, you put them back in their place.
Right, exactly. And you can waste a lot of time in this visit. And the only, all we have is a certain amount of time. So I don't want to waste it.
Totally.
But also some of those middle states, I was talking to an agent down in North Carolina. It's really muddy down there because they weren't very clear with our fee is this, buyer agent fee is that. I mean, they kind of muddied the water with lumping it all together, which is why we're in the situation we're in now. So I think those jurisdictions are struggling from what I've heard.
Yeah. Well, I was at the convention I was just at. There was a panel, and there was an agent from Seattle, and I think an agent from like upstate New York, and they're all talking about what they're dealing with buyer agency in each of their respective jurisdictions. In Seattle, their MLS is decoupled from the National Association of Realtors.
Yeah.
So not in terms of what they offer for buyer agency or buyer broker compensation, they didn't have to change anything.
Yeah.
They feel like they're within the law doing that because they aren't opted in to the overarching NAR deal. And but they've also had buyer agency agreements for a long time, like we have, and been able to easily articulate what that means to buyers and sellers as well. So they feel like they've been ahead of the game for years. Yeah.
I mean, we really, again, like we went all over the country, hearing from different leaders, and it's like, okay, let's just go. Let's get back to
right.
Yeah, sure.
It can be a lot.
Let's go do some work.
So I think it's actually good for our industry.
Yeah, and I think as consumers figure this out, they'll get back to business as well. They'll get back to buying and selling real estate. I mean, there's a lot of other things. I pulled the stats this morning, and inventory is up almost 40%. So it's like
interesting.
Well,
40%.
I looked at Washington D.C.
from year over year.
For year over year.
Okay.
It's up 40%. The actual number, it's up 30%. My apologies. So it's active listings are up just shy of 30%, not 40. That's just D.C. All neighborhoods, all price points. But I think for the last 30, 60 days, consumers are like, what's going on? Do I have to now pay a full X% to my buyer agent? Everything's going to figure out.
I think it's the election. Don't we?
We're
all
election
frozen.
Yeah.
It really affects people.
Yeah, it really does. In Washington, it's real estate's hyper local.
Right.
I think we're all waiting. November 5th, we're all going to be, there's going to be a lot. I think we're really going to have a lot of activity.
I agree with
after the election.
And I think as rates continue to come down, that's also going to spur up more activity. Because for the longest time, like the last year, rates have been historically high in our lifetime.
Relatively, yes.
Yeah.
And they're, I think as they kind of come back down, those buyers will pull the trigger. Having a 5 in front of it versus an 8
totally.
is a huge difference for
Big
these
mental
buyers
hurdle.
psychologically.
Yeah.
So I like what you were both saying about, especially like Brent, when you were saying that this gentleman, he said, I'll use you guys in D.C. and this other agent in Virginia. You're like, no,
I'm not doing that. I mean, and plus I'm more seasoned now than maybe my first year. I'm like, yeah, sure, use somebody in Virginia and I'll do DC. But like now I'm like, $2.5 million. Yes, that's a big number in DC, but I've seen it happen many times over where you show them all these places in DC and they're like, oh, I walked into an open house and I just wrote an offer in Herndon, Virginia. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Tell me you were looking in Herndon, Virginia. I could have showed you something in Herndon.
Yeah, most people on our team are licensed in all three, but some aren't.
Right.
And so they'll usually partner with another agent on our team to do the other state.
Well, so also, I recently had a listing that is kind of getting a lot of buzz on TikTok and Instagram because of the price range and how it looks. It's like a mid-century look. It's in a cooperative in Southwest. It's in the River Park Co-op, which has very high fees, and so it's
How's that getting buzz?
It's just because it's going viral for the wrong reasons.
Right, okay.
Put it that way, okay?
Like, wow.
It's still it's my listing, and it's still a good price, and it's a great property, and I'm not kidding. So
I want to see it.
I have to go look this up now.
It's very cool. But yeah, no, the reel that I posted for that has, I don't even know, I have to check, but it's like 500,000 views or something crazy.
That is crazy.
And so people are all like, they're on there. So I'm getting direct leads for this listing, which is, I think that we're going to probably see more direct leads from things in our current environment in general.
Yes.
But just because of this one had so much buzz and people are like examining it and they don't understand the fee structure, they're like, oh, it's $600,000. I could have the whole townhouse. So with that, I'm getting these inquiries and gentleman's like, can I come see this property? And I'm like, okay, I just want to make sure you have all this information. I send him the disclosures, like this is how the fee structure is. Just make sure you have all this information before we spend any time doing this. Yeah, I know all that. Okay. I'm like, are you working with any other agents right now? And he was like, well, I have an agent, but I wanted to see it before I engage that person. I'm like, no, I'm not even going.
We don't do that either. I mean, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
And so we ask every time.
Yeah.
Are you working with another agent?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But what do you do in that situation?
And they say, yeah.
We get it all the time.
Call your
as well,
agent to show you the property. Well, I don't want to.
I don't want to bother them.
Oh, but
it's
you
a classic. I don't want to bother them.
But I would put this back on both of you guys. Like, we are representing the seller. I was like, I'll show you the property, but if you want to call your agent. But like, I have the duty to the seller to at least open the door, let them go through. I can't share any information with them.
But Brent, fair enough. I'm with you on that. But at the same time, given the current situation, with commission structures, right? There is a listing side commission and a buyer side commission. This buyer comes in unrepresented and doesn't sign an agreement with you saying that like you are now the procuring cause or you get a showing agreement or whatever. And then they go out the door and they bring in their buyer agent and the buyer agent comes looking for money. Like it doesn't make any sense at that point.
I wouldn't write up that offer. Like I would open a door, show them the property. If they want to write, they're like, I love this. We'll call your agent and have them write up the offer would be my response.
That's pretty nice.
I think open houses are going to also be really key. I mean, hold your listing open, your hot listing.
Yeah.
Because I think it is a way for people who, want to just take a look.
Right.
And so
depending on the property, it might be easier to suss everything out.
Opens.
Yeah. I mean, we try to do that too. It's not always logistically possible. I mean, just, keeping everything open, as you know. I mean, segue then.
Yeah.
So keeping things open, and especially in this new environment where buyers, there might be more direct buyer traffic, right? Tell us about your team. How many people are on your team? How do you manage that then? If you're going to keep things open, you got to have manpower, right?
Yeah.
So how many people are on your team, Margaret?
We have 30.
Wow, what? Yeah. I didn't know that. Oh my God.
So Sina and I, when you were talking to him before, I probably didn't go into it because it was just sort of not being announced. But yeah, we had two thriving teams, and we combined them. And with that also came people who saw what we saw, felt what we felt, and came also. So joined some really superstars. So very much, spirit of entrepreneurship. We have some great people who sell a lot of real estate and also may have another business going on too. So it's the family.
Right.
It really does feel like a family. We have a director of operations. We have somebody, listings coordinator, and then we have 4 virtual administrative transaction coordinator. So we have a lot.
You got a lot.
So we, we have personal relationships with everybody. It's very close. I would say.
What kind of volume is your team doing over like the last 2 years?
Well, the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So that would be this year too and last year. I mean, we'll do over 200 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you definitely need the support there.
Yeah. So
Can I ask you just really quickly,
Yeah.
the boring part to me, but
no.
or not to me, the virtual assistants.
Yeah.
So are these just outsourced people who help? Tell us what they help with.
They help with a lot.
Okay.
And some of them are seasoned 20-year agents. So we have 2 that are licensed and agents, seasoned agents.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 of them are actually literally in the Philippines.
Okay.
But they do a lot of transactions. So they're writing offers. They're doing addendums. They're checking in with the lender. All on that behalf. And some people, can roll with that, and some people don't do that.
Right.
But we've had huge success with that.
What about marketing? You guys have a marketing person?
We use Compass Marketing, and we do a lot of the marketing.
Okay.
Sina's very good at the videos. We also use Refitify, which is Omar. A lot of the videos. We video our meetings. We video all the time.
So I guess some of our agents that are listening and are thinking about joining, can you share with us like one of the hiccups you guys had? Because I remember you guys had 2 large teams. You're now forming this larger entity. Like, what's one hiccup that you guys, if I had to go back and do it again, we would have done this different to avoid this hiccup?
Yeah, well, I don't know of any in the area, because I would like to study people and study
Right.
success is what entrepreneurs. Yeah, I'm like always like looking around, but I don't know anybody in the area. Like Mandy and David grew up together, kind of
Right.
thing. So it was not a lot of examples of it, but the commonality, of trust and and vision were there, but we had duplicating things. I had the virtual assistant thing. He didn't have it. It was people on the team that did the TC work.
Right.
So just the operations. So
Right.
the overlapping operations was definitely the
Just ironing it out.
the hardest part.
Right.
That was the hardest part, because that's the secret. It's all systems and processes. But we have huge players that just plug into the systems and processes, and they can just sell more
Right.
and do the part they like.
And so your team member agents, like when you decided to do this, everyone was on board, or was there?
No, there was a lot of honestly, dating, really, because we went to, I'm just recalling a couple things. I mean, Noel, who's a senior partner on the team, him and I went to Art Basel in Miami. That's how we got to know each other. There was definitely a lot of before we even made the merger, because we weren't going to do it if our,
You weren't just kind of like.
no,
Yeah.
it's like
right.
sort of, it wouldn't have worked if it.
No.
But we didn't
Yeah.
have the team into it. So we did a lot of, bike parties. We went to bike parties. You ever go to bike parties?
No.
Okay. We did those. And
What is a bike party?
So in Washington, they have this, and it's charity too. It's awesome. And you meet at DuPont Circle at, 7:30.
Morning
at
or night?
night.
Okay.
This is a night event. This is
You
a
would do the
night
morning.
event. It's like 3,000, maybe more
People on a bike?
people,
Wow.
bikes, and
And
know,
you just bike all over the city, like as a.
and it's controlled anarchy. I mean,
Yeah.
they shut down they wheels up at 8, and they shut down the city, and it's a 2-hour fun event. And then it's also tied to a charity, different charities.
Interesting.
Would you take the Robin Brent group on a bike party?
Not that. No, I'm in bed by 9. I was like 7:30.
It's only once a month. You would come with me one
Yeah,
year.
I would probably do that. I mean, I'd love to bike. That's what
Let's
I'm
try
saying.
Me
I
too.
love biking.
I think you should try it.
I'll do that.
You and Sina,
Yeah.
and I'll come.
Yeah.
So I've had 2 bike accidents since
On
this
the bike party?
partnership. Not at the bike party.
Okay, good. All right.
One of our private parties, just our team event, Cherry Blossom. I fell off a bike. So stupid. And then one time at the beach. So, I wear my helmet. Definitely.
Yes.
But we'd love to have you.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole other topic for another day. The whole biking, the bike lanes, and are they safe or not? Like I've almost gotten hit because you're walking across, bikers flying down the bike lane and doesn't stop with traffic, and it's
I'm
like who has
telling
the
you,
right of way?
yeah.
I think
It is.
discussing new city infrastructure and tax planning for what
That's
they
a whole
spend on.
nother
We need the right guest for that.
Oh my gosh.
Because I have some notes.
Right.
Yeah, you have some suggestions.
Yeah, suggestions. That's
There
what we'll
you
call
go.
them. Yeah.
So how long did the dating last? So you guys were doing the bikes at Art Basil's?
So there was so it was my idea to merge. So Sina said no first. So I, kind of saw the two complements and styles and teams and saw that it was a good partnership. And, we had a different venture together. So I got to know, we both were at the beach. So then it was probably the dating lasts 3 months.
Okay.
Of like, okay, this is like mapping out how we're going to do it. How
That's
do we
wise.
do it? And then have everybody meet each other and figure it out.
I think that's still a relatively short amount of time considering like how much like business both of your teams
well,
are
we
worth.
knew each other because of another venture, so that's why we kind of were even knew each other more than you sort of know your
Right.
colleagues.
Well, we have a good group at our team, and we have a lot of agents. Our firm, other firms will reach out and like, how did you guys partner up? I'm thinking about doing something. And my recommendation is always that just to date, do a few transactions together. Don't jump in and get married because you guys might have totally different working styles, working ethics.
Yeah.
Like you need to do a few deals together to make sure that it's a match. Because
Totally.
they just want to jump in, and like the two single agents want to jump in and be a partner and have this group. I'm like,
Yeah.
slow down, like do a deal or two together.
Yeah, very slowly, methodically.
Right.
So we didn't do it too slowly.
Yeah,
But-
but it's good that you guys had another business venture, so you already kind of knew each other
Yeah,
and your work
for sure.
styles and ethics.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So with 30 or how many agents are on the team again? How many agents?
30, probably like 28 agents.
And
Yeah.
then okay, so I know you don't have a stat sheet in front of you, but like how many listings do you think you're running at the same time on the team?
20?
20?
Yeah.
So that's what getting back to what we were talking about, like making sure things are open, like how to keep the business moving around. Like, does everyone sort of just help each other? And
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a very much a culture of, like I said, like family. Because, really we want to have people have it all, right?
Right.
I mean, this business is all consuming. It's not the highlight reel of, selling sunset. It's a very all consuming business. And, people's parents get sick, people's kids get sick, life happens to everybody. So we want people to travel. We want people to have a fun, time because you can bring more to the experience. And so, yeah, we all cover for each other.
so do you guys have weekly meetings?
Yes.
Okay. So how do you
It's
run?
everybody's favorite.
So-
Tuesday.
So it's like all hands,
All hands.
as many hands.
As many hands as
Yeah.
possible. We're very understanding if somebody's got a tour, or,
Sure.
but people try to make it. It's fun.
And how do you guys run your meetings? I'm interested because I think my team is not as big as either one of your teams, but we need to get back to we do have a weekly meeting. It's a Zoom meeting, and so it's a little different, obviously, than having like your in person. Do you run your meetings in person?
Always.
Always. Okay.
Yeah, always in person. And this, we had the Omelet Man this week because it's kind of like back to school. It was excitement, energy, renewing. Kind of people are back to work, back to school, even though we did work all summer. But it just feels like a back to school. But
So the omelet man came in and made omelets?
yeah, so fun. But we do shout outs and celebrations in terms of format. So we shout out, we had one team member have a baby. We had one team member find out they were pregnant. We had one team member that closed a huge deal, and he's relatively new in real estate. So that's shout out and celebrations. And then we roll into housekeeping, kind of like some coaching that we're doing. This is happening. We try to plug into Compass. We lean on, if they're doing anything fun and exciting, we want to reiterate the team, any kind of housekeeping. And then we, get into it. We try to learn from each other. We do a lot of transactions. So there's always a learning, this happened.
Yeah.
How did I handle it?
In terms of the coaching, do you and Sina coach your like more junior agents or less experienced agents, or do you recommend that they hire business coaches, or how does that work?
Well, we do accountability coaching, so we do different types of that work we do ourselves, and then there's also exterior, like Compass coaching. I myself have done coaching for different periods and states of my kind of what I want to focus on, because I believe you always need to be working on yourself.
For sure.
So yeah, we do accountability sessions of there's a client care campaign meeting, then there's a lead sort of follow-up meeting that we kind of have a regular cadence with the agents. But different people are at different stages.
Mm-hmm.
Having a team, as you know, can like shrink that, somebody who's very ambitious, just getting into real estate, being on a team, instead of the 5 years, you can have success our first year.
Right.
So that's really exciting for, people joining.
Do you guys have a minimum to get on or to stay on the team?
No, but definitely has to be a culture fit.
Right.
For the right ingredients. If you look at it's a pretty different team. There's not like, it's
so you guys are turning people away.
It's our team is a very diverse team, with the commonality of, we're more alike than we are than different.
I understand.
Kind of like when I was just in Chicago for the DNC, it's just like the Republicans and Democrats. The theme was we are more alike than we are different.
Right.
So it's very all that's going on with social media and sort of what you're clicking on, you're getting served more. So I think it is creating, this whole like I'm different, I'm this, I'm that, but we are very different. Every religion on our team, lots of different languages spoken, but we're more alike than we are different.
So as a team, obviously that gives you the ability to collaborate like endlessly, essentially. Do you have agents calling you all day saying like, Margaret, what do I do with this? Or how would you handle this? Or are they more self-sufficient than that? Or you tell me.
Yeah, they're really, I think it's just, no, I don't have agents calling me all day, every day.
Okay.
The team is really, even the people who are not doing it that long is doing a lot of business.
Yeah.
So they're getting like repetition. So even though they haven't done it for 10 years, they're getting more, they're highly productive. And yeah, there's an all-call text. We have Slack, for those weird situations. And there's situations I'm like, that's never happened to me before. As you know, it's just a lot of learning going on.
All the time.
So you mentioned all-call text. You have all 30 people are on the same text.
And we implemented Slack too.
We use
but
Slack.
We still have
I love
text.
Slack.
I love Slack too.
Slack is so great.
But still, there's the text.
Yeah. How does it? Because we got into this with our group actually yesterday. There was the Wall Street Journal article that came out about Jeff Bezos getting sued, and the agents getting. Anyway, I just sent out the article, and it started like this long text. Some people are paying attention, some are, but then it's blowing up people's texts, and someone got irritated, like, stop doing this. This is a in-person meeting. That we can't have this discussion over a text message.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I had a team also, and we had some texting that was, when I was separated, and so we did sort of a rules texting thing, but it's sort of gone away with our bigger team. Sometimes I just think people just turn it off if they don't want to do it, but they sort of know. We're a young team, fun.
Yeah,
there's always something going on.
I'll pay attention to the stuff that I want to, but I can certainly ignore the stuff. If there's a little kitty cat that's running across and gets hit by a car, sorry, but it's like, I'll just turn that off.
Yeah, no.
I think that was off the debate. Yeah. I was listening to that this morning, like the rewind of the debate with the dogs and the cats.
Oh, right.
My
God.
Goodness.
That was a ludic. That's yet another topic that is not appropriate for this podcast. Well, look, honestly, I'm really impressed, seriously, because like to manage a large team like that, Brent, you have your trials and tribulations with running a team. Sometimes I know you have given the idea. You're like especially when the markets are shifting and everything. You're like, do I need this many people?
Agents or
Yeah.
people. Like I mentioned, the littlest thing of someone getting irritated over a text message. I'm like, just ignore it.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to pay attention to every text message, but like that multiplied by like 20 other different issues that we run across in this industry.
Yeah. Well, true. I get you.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody. And I think it's important to know that, I'm definitely a very people person and an HR background. So I found real estate lonely, kind of like when I was a solo
The agent part, yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, going, I don't know, it was just lonely. So I always had like even a little team, I think I had a little support. But it's great. With the right people, it's great.
Well, to run it as a team like that, like as you're speaking, I'm thinking about this, like to run it as a team like that, it does make it even more entrepreneurial.
It is so fun. We have fun.
Yeah.
We have fun.
Well, you have a lot of freedom to do different things in terms of marketing and working as a group if you want to, and versus just like the solo agent or this like a 2-person team or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I don't have any problem like being like lonely within my team. We have 2 assistants and I have people to collaborate with if I need to.
Yeah.
But that's like I'm also more of a loner type.
So is Cena. He's definitely a little bit more of a loner. In that, he doesn't mind being alone. Like
Sure.
I don't know, like I grew up like in a, communal kind of situation. And so I always had like a lot of people around. So I like a lot of people, more the merrier.
So we can segue into this because we're in the process of talking about a team party.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys have a team party? Like when would you do it?
Sounds like they have them all every week.
Yeah.
We have fun. Sorry, we're just, and it's like the suggestion was made that we're not doing enough of it. So we're doing like walking Wednesdays and thirsty Thursdays. So we're doing that like
Thirsty Thursdays.
So there's a speakeasy in the bottom of our office.
On 14th
The
Street?
Compass?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Crown and Crow. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not a speakeasy anymore. You just
No,
told us.
I outed it. But anyway, so that's going to happen. We haven't done it yet. But yeah, we do gatherings all the time.
And what about client parties?
We do have, it's been a little bit of a challenge with our new merger doing client parties like I used to do because of just the mass number.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
You would
talking
need like
about
a ballroom,
Go to the Butler's Orchard.
Yeah. So
the whole orchard.
What would you do?
we did do an Airbnb client event, which was very successful.
So what is
Tell us
that
about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I just am obsessed with this host coach. They wrote this book. It's a husband and wife. They make $1 million a year. You should have him on your podcast.
It's called Host Coach?
Well, his name is Colin Cullen. No, that's not it. Cullen. I'll give you his name.
We'll
but
get it.
he's amazing, and they make $1 million a year. So my thing is like, as agents, we need to be our best clients, right? I mean, we're in real estate. We're seeing deals. Why aren't we not investing? We work a lot. So I'm going to Airbnb my house. I'm very excited to do it. And I met him at an event. And basically then we did it for our agents and our clients. They did this host coach. And there's analytics, which I think you're techie, aren't you?
A little bit.
Okay. So there's a lot of analytics that he taught us about and kind of like where to invest and how he does it. And so it's very exciting. I can't remember why I'm talking about that, but that was a client event.
Party.
Yeah.
And again though, how did the client event? Was it with him or like how did it work?
Yeah, it was like a teaching event.
Ah,
It was
cool,
at the lunchroom,
Like a seminar almost.
like
but,
on the kitchen up at Compass.
okay, all
I
right.
did the
So it was like a learning event.
yeah, it was
and
a learning
and
event.
it's topical that people.
And our agents came and our
Okay.
But we're gonna do I think we're gonna go to a vineyard in the fall, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, we're rattling with that now. Or it's like, do you go to? Last year we did the The thing in that stadium, the Lights Festival.
Yeah.
Very well turned out, reserved the whole PNC suite, very well received, but that was close to home.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I don't know if they're doing it again this year. And now our group's like, maybe we go out to an orchard or a winery. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just concerned that the people aren't going to come out in
Yeah,
buses.
and sometimes it's hard to connect, really, like on those big events, and
Right.
it doesn't really speak to some people. So it's like, sometimes, I mean, you have a party and it's like, wait, I didn't get to talk to anybody.
Sure.
I was
Or you
just,
talk to like for like 1 minute
or you
and
just
you're like
say
bouncing.
hi.
Yeah.
It's not really like,
I don't like that.
I don't know,
I can just easily straight up say it, like I don't like that. And so that's one aspect of like the Sotheby's conference. This is for me personally. Nothing against the conference. It was actually a pretty fun time.
Yeah.
But it's like there were 3,000 people there.
No.
And
It's too
it's
big.
like it's very big. But what happens is people break out and they go into smaller groups.
Sure.
But that can also make it cliquey, right?
Yeah, and you're like, oh, you didn't, we do these too. So, then, you didn't do your job getting that group together before you went to San Diego.
Right.
And you're like, geez, Louise.
Yeah, thanks for making me feel like I didn't do it
So
right.
that was in Napa. Yeah, we
Yeah.
had that same thing. But luckily, one of our Compass friends got us in that little dinner that they planned
Yeah.
from the partners. But yeah, so I think authenticity is important, right? It's like
Sure.
whatever's, sometimes you want to do some maybe big event, but like, having coffee is.
If that's
or
what
just
works.
Connecting, like, I mean, just like completely can be so impactful.
It's a deeper connection, right? I'm big into sports, whether basketball, baseball, football, soccer, whatever it is. But if you're one-on-one or with a small group of like 4 people, it's more intimate, and you can have a deeper, meaningful conversation with them about whatever life.
That's right. I agree.
'Cause
Totally.
even those large parties, you still might get the people you do get to talk to. It's so short-lived. It's like 1 to 2 minutes, and then boom, someone else pulls you over to the side. You have a 1 or 2 minute conversation with them, and then somebody else pulls you aside.
Yeah.
Well, I will also say, though, that one side effect to if you're inviting like different groups of people who are clients who may not know each other, like people who are in your sphere, but they're not in each other's spheres, maybe they are connecting with each other, and that
Yeah.
event can be good for that too. So it's just
Right. That's
something else
true.
to consider. It's not
Yeah.
always about us. Yes,
Right,
I mean,
right.
it sort of is, but
Yeah. I mean, I've heard different agents will do like dinner parties, and they'll invite all the people that went to Italy
Sure.
within the last 2 years. So they had that
Yeah.
Italy
Hey.
conversation over dinner, and they kind of focus around that. But
I know lots of agents who are just excellent at doing those things.
Yeah.
I hear them and I want to learn from them. I'm still yet to implement all those kinds of things. I just feel like
I think don't.
Yeah.
Don't. If it's not your
Yeah.
your bag, baby.
Oh, I'm very much at this. I'm getting to this point in my life where it's like I don't think I'm going to do anything anymore. So
But you're going to do TikTok.
Yeah,
And
I
my
like my
kids,
TikTok. I
again,
really like my
have
TikToks.
sent- both of them have sent properties like, ooh. I'm like, okay.
yeah, I mean
So, hey,
it does actually make me happy. So,
Good.
Hey, there you go. There's one thing.
there you go.
Okay, one more like core item, real estate related. Then, would you say that at any point in your career or now, do you have like a niche, or what do you think of being in a niche market? Tell me about that.
I don't have a niche, but I'd say in terms of the city, I know different parts of the city, and I've worked with the developers, I've worked with first-time home buyers, I've worked with downsizing, I've helped parents do that. So I don't have a niche. I would say, I am a business person. Business is what interests me a lot. So I have a property management company, and putting this partnership together was key. So I think that is what I love.
Yeah,
I love business.
I think you're. It sounds to me like you're more interested in that aspect of things than this.
Absolutely.
It's okay. Interesting.
Absolutely.
I have
Yeah.
a follow-up question to that. You've been doing this for a while at a very high, successful level. Do you have a CRM? Like, how are you keeping up with your people
Yeah, it's a lot.
on a regular basis?
We use the largest teams use Follow-Up Boss.
Follow-up
So
boss.
that's what we use.
Okay.
I actually used it before the merger, and we haven't merged databases yet. It's just too big. I don't know how we're going to do that. So we haven't.
But you're
done-
using Follow-up Boss on a regular
Follow-Up
basis.
Boss. Yeah, we use.
That's what I
Follow-Up
use. I
Boss.
like it. We're not even a big team. I just
And I
love it.
have to say, like, that's definitely, like, Cena is a, like, former DBA. I mean,
Yeah.
he's like a database dude.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Margaret, thank you so much for coming down today and joining us. We really appreciate having you.
I loved being here. This is beautiful studio.
Well, you can thank Selchuk and Switch and Board. He's an amazing job.
Yeah.
We really like coming here too.
Cool.
Brent's going to hit you with some rapid fire questions.
Okay. Ooh, I'm scared.
5 easy questions. So what is your food kryptonite?
Ooh, Italian.
Italian's good.
That's so easy.
Yeah, so easy, right?
Yeah.
Very
Everyone.
good.
Chicken parm,
Yeah.
Chicken parm, yeah.
Easy.
especially chicken parm.
Yeah.
What's your favorite restaurant then?
What is that called? Grazie non noni?
Where's that?
It's right downtown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds Italian, I'm assuming.
It's Italian.
It's really good. Yeah.
Let's check that out. What's your favorite after-hour drink?
After hour red wine.
Red wine.
Yeah.
Goes with the pasta.
There you go.
Yeah. What is your favorite hobby when you're not selling real estate?
Traveling.
Traveling?
Yeah, I'm hoping to go to Morocco with my 2 adult kids
Oh, that'll be fun.
in October
All right. So
if I can get it going on.
I'm not the rapid fire guy. That's Brent's job. But here's my follow up. So traveling. How many countries have you been to? Do you know?
No.
You don't. It's a lot.
No, but I went to Tibet and I went
Oh,
to
okay. Some exotic.
took the kids to China, all over.
Did you climb Mount Everest? Like, what were you doing? Like, where? That's. I'm sorry. That's in
Tibet?
Nepal. Like, what were you doing in
We
Tibet?
did a 24-hour train to get adjusted to. No, it was a tour. It was 19 days.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Wow. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's exotic.
Yeah, that's exactly.
But I try to go to the Compass retreats everywhere. We go to Inman. I love learning.
Yeah, that's good.
Good stuff.
Last question. What was your last live concert?
Ooh, Third Eye Blind at Meriwether Post.
I like that.
That's funny.
Somebody turn friend alive.
I'm going to Ocean's Calling. They're going to be there too.
Awesome.
That's at the beach.
Yeah, I like
Ocean
that.
City.
I have to listen to them later today.
There
Good
you go.
stuff.
That's all for me.
Okay, wow. This is so fun. Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thanks for listening to Keyed In with your hosts, Max and Brent, unlocking the minds of the industry's top real estate professionals. For more information on selling your home, find us online at keyedinpodcast.com. Remember to subscribe to Keyed In on Apple Podcasts or wherever you like to listen to podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at Keyed In Podcast, at Rabin Max, and at Brent E. Jackson. And follow Max on TikTok at MaxwellRabin_properties.